Sylvie of the multiple award-winning The Queen Sylvie Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Sylvie or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah. The Frida's Cleaning Service is a small family-owned business established in 2003. With over 17 years of professional, high-quality, and greatly satisfied service, Frida's Cleaning Service will get the job done. Specializing in sanitizing your home, business, post-construction, and commercial cleaning, no job's too big or small. See for yourself and give us a call, 567-249-9172. Frida's Cleaning Service. Our reputation is always spotless.
It used to be hard for this family to run and play in their yard. That big pooch left its business all over. Dad would spend his time cleaning up puppy messes. Now, I make sure the yard is clean so they can play without worry. Yes, there really is a poop fairy.
Do you have questions about buying or selling a home, not sure if you qualify? Your local real estate agent, Antoinette Ware, is here for you. Do you live out of town, moving out of town, or looking for investment property? Well, let's work together and make it happen. Antoinette Ware can be reached at 419-917-6258. The name you know, celebrating over 20 years, serving Toledo and surrounding areas.
Are you tired of driving around a dirty car? Say hello to the ultimate solution for your car. Quick Auto Detail, home, work, or wherever. Their mobile car spa will clean and shine your car anytime and anywhere. Their products are gentle on your car's paint, and they use only the highest quality materials. Book your appointment now.
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Yeah, let's rock. Hey, how's everybody doing on this hump day? I really appreciate you dropping in and spending another Wednesday with me on Tim's Tid-Bits. And I surely hope that your week has went well, and I hope you had an enjoyable weekend last weekend. Still all kinds of things going on around the world, wow, sea to sea, coast to coast, internally, geez. All kinds of strife. We need to try to get things settled down, and, it's not going to happen for a little bit. There's still all kinds of turmoil going on. We all know that Joe has dropped out of the race and Kamala's taken over, and now, the attacks go on to Kamala, and, that'll be the back and forth ping pong game between those two. And, I have a lot of concerns when it comes to the United States. My family has been here on forever. No, seriously. I have a cousin, Elizabeth Fisher was her name. She came over on the Mayflower, part of the Plymouth colony. And so she's like a cousin, 1620 they came over. So that'd be 400 years. So yeah, 6-7 times removed. She's my cousin. I also had a grandfather who fought in the Revolutionary War when he was 70 years old. He had 9 sons with him in this unit. two son-in-laws and a grandson. In fact, check. We honestly made the Guinness Book of World Record for my grandfather, having, like I said, his nine sons, two son-in-laws, and a grandchild with him at 3 of the battles in New Jersey. So, hey, I got a lot of family investment, so to speak, and a lot of these stories have been handed down to us, and a lot of pride, and especially when I sit there and think about the Elizabeth Fisher, who came over, part of the Pilgrims, into Plymouth, and part of their separation. If you know your history, the Pilgrims separated from the Church of England because they believed in a separation of church and state. And that's when, who was that, King James at the time? Yeah, King James I, as a matter of fact, was over there at the time, and that's where the Bible comes from, the King James version of the Bible, when they were having all kinds of turmoil between how the church had their hand so deeply into the government, and the Pilgrims didn't want to belong to the Church of England, and apparently I think it might have been the law. I can't remember. We'll have to look at our history. Anyhow, so yeah, and this stuff's all coming around again to where, they're wanting to have the 10 Commandments up on the wall for the children to see. They're talking about, introducing the Bible in the history study. And I'm not saying that this stuff is bad, but again, it infringes on some people's beliefs and or rights. So we have to watch where we go with that. And speaking of infringing on people's beliefs and rights and the liberties that we think we have, let's open up the show with what I like to say. Maybe we should just listen to him, and you'll see what's coming down the pipe if you make a mistake this coming November.
When the dictator speaks,
when somebody's the president of the United States, the authority is total.
Listen. When he promises revenge and retribution,
I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
listen. When he tells you what rights he'll steal from you,
That I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade, and I'm proud to have done it.
listen. When he promises you this is the last vote you'll ever need to cast,
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
listen. Because every dictator in history spoke the same way.
He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one.
Can you hear him now?
Republicans must win, and we must use every appropriate tool available to beat the Democrats. Whether you vote early, absentee, by mail, or in person, we must swamp the radical Democrats with massive turnout. You want to save America, register, get an absentee or mail-in ballot, vote early. The way you win is to swamp them. If we swamp them, they can't cheat. It just doesn't work out. With your vote, we will win a victory the likes of which no one has ever seen before.
I thought he wanted to drain the swamp. Now he's talking about swamping the vote. And so it should get real interesting. Listen to what the man says. Will he be a dictator or only on day one? Get retribution against the Biden crime family and some of these other people, Elizabeth Warren, some of these other people that can't stand you. And what are you going to do? Throw them in prison? I don't know. It's going to be a travesty. And did you hear what he said? Listen real closely to what he says. And especially with the get out and vote. And it was just, I believe, a week ago, it was, then he was talking to a Christian organization. This is a cartoon version, but the actual audio is from Donald's speech.
If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know, and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day. I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed, it'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and
You
vote.
mean you're not Christian?
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, you're standing in my ring. Don't get under my skin. Don't rub me the wrong way. Basically, long story short, I'm telling you not to piss me off. I'll whip your ass. I don't give a rat's ass if you're worth $1 billion. You piss me off, I'll open up an $8 billion can of whoop ass and serve it to you. And that's all I got to say about that.
You tell him, Steve-O. Yeah, well, look what's coming down the pipe. Yeah, that's interesting. Get out and vote. I don't quite understand that comment. I'd love to hear his explanation on that. Get out and vote, and then in 4 years you won't have to. What is? Because you got your dictatorship in place? I mean, what? You're already stacking the Supreme Court, you know. I guess if you take the House and you take the Senate completely, wow. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, people. But as I said, listen to what the man says. I know that as I had introduced into the beginning of the program, my family has a huge investment in this country of ours, and I'm sure yours does too. And you don't want to see it go to hell or go to a regime or a dictatorship just because, the man admires Hitler, Kim Jong-un, and Vladimir Putin. Yeah, these guys. What a crowd. Three Stooges. We'll see what happens. But anyhow, hey, there is a new Trump ad out that he's put out for your viewing pleasure. And I saw it, and I was astonished. And since he kept it real in this ad, I figured I would share it with you.
I'm AI Donald Trump, and I think my supporters are nothing but inbred white trash. If you are one of my supporters, you are among the stupidest motherfuckers on earth. Only a brain-damaged, trailer-dwelling, redneck, sling blade type would stand by a clown like me, knowing full well that I am a rapist, con man thief who owes $500 million in legal judgments, and after a lifetime of creating a fake image of unlimited wealth, I don't have the cash to pay them. And yet millions of dumbfounded dipshits still think I'm their Lord and Savior. It's really pathetic because it just goes to show that a huge percentage of America is made up of complete fucking idiots. Only the most hopelessly gullible morons would still support me after 91 felony indictments. If you're still supporting me after January 6th, Stormy Daniels, the Trump University fraud, the Trump mortgage scam, my serial wife cheating, the Access Hollywood tape, my association with Jeffrey Epstein, my racism, my casino bankruptcies, my failed airline, my yacht being repossessed, my failed football team, and all my many, many crimes, you're an irredeemably brain-dead idiot with shit for brains and a rotten and blackened heart. You are a waste of oxygen that a decent person could be breathing. But if you want to vote to destroy your own country, go right ahead. You're too stupid to matter. I will laugh as I take everything you own and send you to a death camp, you stupid piece of shit. I'm AI Donald Trump, and I mean it. If you support me, you are a complete fucking idiot.
Well, now, I don't know how that's going to get around everywhere, but yeah, I found that kind of interesting that AI Donald Trump put that out. Anyhow, I hope you sincerely appreciated that ad, since I am an impartial individual and would like to share both sides. Anyhow, speaking of sharing both sides, as you know, that was an AI-generated segment, and also, that's going to be prevalent coming up here in this election and also in the future with the ability of artificial intelligence now, the progression in that field. It's unbelievable. There's deep fakes everywhere. And in fact, Elon Musk, what is he? Twitter X, Tesla and everything else, multi-billionaire. He put out a deep fake on his X network, and apparently, yeah, isn't he one that's was there before Congress saying that they're trying to eliminate deep fakes? But anyhow, he got called out on it, and he had to take it down. And let's take a little look at some of this deep fake advertising.
A manipulated video shared by tech billionaire Elon Musk mimics Harris's voice using artificial intelligence, causing a rise in concerns about AI in politics. A manipulated video that mimics the voice of Vice President Kamala Harris saying things she did not say is raising concerns about the power of artificial intelligence to mislead with Election Day about 3 months away. The video gained attention after tech billionaire Elon Musk shared it on his social media platform X on Friday evening without explicitly noting it was originally released as parody. The video uses many of the same visuals as a real ad that Harris released last week launching her campaign. But the video swaps out the voiceover audio with another voice that convincingly impersonates Harris. The voice in the manipulated video says, "I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate." It claims Harris is a diversity hire because she is a woman and a person of color, and it says she doesn't know the first thing about running the country. The video retains Harris for president branding. It also adds in some authentic past clips of Harris. The widely shared video is an example of how lifelike AI-generated images, videos, or audio clips have been utilized both to poke fun and to mislead about politics as the United States draws closer to the presidential election. It exposes how, as high-quality AI tools have become far more accessible, there remains a lack of significant federal action so far to regulate their use, leaving rules guiding AI in politics largely to states and social media platforms. The video also raises questions about how to best handle content that blurs the lines of what is considered an appropriate use of AI, particularly if it falls into the category of satire. The original user who posted the video, a YouTuber known as Mr. Reagan, has disclosed both on YouTube and on X that the manipulated video is a parody. But Musk's post, which has been viewed more than 123 million times, according to the platform, only includes the caption, "This is amazing," with a laughing emoji. Congress has yet to pass legislation on AI in politics, and federal agencies have only taken limited steps, leaving most existing U.S. regulation to the states. More than one-third of states have created their own laws regulating the use of AI in campaigns and elections, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures. Beyond X, other social media companies also have created policies regarding synthetic and manipulated media shared on their platforms.
Absolutely, they should be controlling the media that's on their platforms and the content of the media that's on their platform, and knowing that it's an AI-generated image or AI-generated advertisement. And we had this, in fact, Queen Sylvia and I discussed this the other day on one of our shows about with the progression of AI and bullying, even in the school environment, how they can manipulate an image and make it look like you are in an incomparable position and or wherever, and it's actually fake, but they are so good, it looks so real with the artificial intelligence. It's crazy. But like everything else, look both ways and take everything with a grain of salt, because it's not necessarily always the deep truth. It could be the deep lie, or maybe somewhere in between there might be a little bit of fact. Anyhow, speaking of fact and what's going on, looks like Florida is going to be jumping in on the let's legalize weed recreationally bandwagon, as they're seeing how some of these states are raking in money like it's going out of style. But apparently still the governor, DeSantis, is still not on board with it, and probably thinks, it's a horrible thing. Don't let weed get legalized in Florida. Or maybe they should jump in on the cash cow. What do you think?
An act that is punishable by up to a year in jail could become completely legal in November. When Florida voters go to the polls on Election Day, they will decide if recreational marijuana becomes part of the state's constitution. Now, we know medical marijuana has been legal in Florida since 2016, but a group wants to expand marijuana options throughout the state.
Rich Donnelly is on your side with a closer look at the amendment and what people for it and against it are saying right now.
If Amendment 3 is passed, Florida will become the 25th state in the country to legalize recreational marijuana. More than 1 million registered voters signed petitions to get Amendment 3 on the ballot, which would allow people 21 years old or up the ability to possess and purchase 3 ounces of marijuana. Supporters of Amendment 3 say that recreational marijuana will help Floridians.
By providing a safe and clean access, we are really empowering folks to take more control over their lives in a healthier way.
Kim Rivers is the founder, CEO, and chairwoman of True Leave. a Florida-based medical marijuana company that has spent nearly $40 million lobbying for Amendment 3.
A safe and regulated cannabis market in the state of Florida will produce hundreds of millions of dollars in tax revenue to be reinvested into our communities, which could go to help law enforcement, education, addiction services.
A poll by UNF in 2023 showed that 67% of respondents are in favor of the proposed legislation. Governor Ron DeSantis says it's not worth it.
This isn't going to be good. It's not going to be good for law and order. It's not going to be good for quality of life.
During a speech at the Florida Sheriff's Association on Tuesday, Governor DeSantis questioned the accuracy of measuring how much marijuana a person would be allowed to have.
Some law enforcement have told me 3 ounces, how many joints that is. Some say 40, some say 80, but bottom line, this is a lot.
Medical marijuana has been legal in Florida for 8 years. The Flowery is a dispensary in Bay Meadows that caters to people with medical marijuana cards.
Just in this area alone, I think we have people coming from all over Jacksonville.
They say business will skyrocket if recreational marijuana becomes legal.
Every day we have people coming into that we have to deny and have to explain to them the process of how to obtain a medical marijuana card too, so they can actually come back and make a purchase a different day.
That's right. They should pass that down there. They got all those old people down in Florida, achy bones and shit. A little bit of weed, straighten their ass right up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, think about it, DeSantis. There's a cash cow in that. I can't remember how many. We live up in Ohio. It's legal in Ohio. Anyhow, they was doing they just got legal in Ohio, by the way. Anyhow, they was doing a study in Michigan, just across the line from us, about a 10-minute drive or so. Monroe's had Monroe, Michigan. They had like was it $6-8 million that they were able to put back. The city was able to put back into their streets, sewers, and this and that. So that's like $6-8 million in taxes they're collecting that they're rejuvenating the city with. So how can you go wrong? Instead of putting the burden on the taxpayers, in regards to property taxes, why not put the burden on the people who go there and recreationally utilize marijuana products? And obviously it's worked out for the city of Monroe, the state of Michigan, state of Colorado, state of California, others. They've done pretty damn good at it. Anyhow, hey, an episode just back, we talked about some deep fake videos that are going on and involving Kamala. I showed you a little deep fake video of that Trump advertisement that is total BS, but it was kind of funny. But there's a growing threat, of even more convincing AI coming out onto the market. In fact, Argonne National Lab, they built this supercomputer. It takes up 4 tennis courts in size, and it's got hundreds of thousands of these cores, they call them, I believe, into this computer. And would you believe this computer is 1,000,000 times faster than what we have today? So it can process 1,000,000 times faster. I may have that number even under, but 1,000,000 times faster than today's computer. So what do you think that's going to do? Where are we going with artificial intelligence? Where are we going with computer technology? Where will it stop?
This colossal computer is expected to push the boundaries of scientific discovery, answering questions humankind has pondered since the dawn of time.
We see research in almost every major area of science out there. So we are doing research that's looking at the fundamental structure of an atom and those fundamental forces, all the way up to looking at the structure of the universe.
Aurora, a supercomputer at Argonne National Laboratories in Illinois, could soon become the world's most powerful computer once it's fully operational. That's expected to happen later this year. Scientists are still connecting computer nodes that increase its power.
You can think of a node as being the computer. This is, in many respects, your laptop. It's just a very incredibly powerful version of your laptop.
Even at less than full power, the $500 million water-cooled machine, taking up the space of 4 tennis courts, is incomprehensibly fast, processing massive amounts of data at exaflop speed. That's a quintillion, 10 with 18 zeros after it, tasks per second. And when it comes to using artificial intelligence, it performs at 10 times that speed, making it the most powerful computer using AI on Earth.
For years, computers have been getting smaller and more powerful. Each of those silver handles is essentially a computer or a node. Aurora has 10,624 of them, and that's what gives it its unfathomable speed and power.
It can also solve practical problems, modeling in granular detail how cancer cells spread through the bloodstream, mapping a mouse brain and soon human brains, and testing billions of possible aircraft part models before building a single plane.
I can say which part of Puerto Rico you should be worried about.
Rao Kodamarthi is using Aurora to develop long-term climate models that range from a single building to the entire globe.
If I can project what could be a risk for a coastal area, for heat waves, for wildfires, it will help communities, companies to adapt to this change.
Anyone in the world can apply for computing time on one condition. All of Aurora's research must be publicly available. That makes Aurora's impact not just potentially groundbreaking, but global. John Hendren, Al Jazeera, Lamont, Illinois.
Interesting. 6,600 of those nodes. And yeah, that's a hell of a machine. And wow, it can map out all those things and it can process that quickly. Going to be interesting what happens to mankind as we progress into this world of technology, and be very interesting. Maybe we'll be homeless, but the one place that you shouldn't be if you're homeless is California. So let's move on from Florida deciding about rec marijuana to California that decides, hey, let's make you homeless, or let's just, because you're homeless, throw your ass in jail.
Our other top story today, Governor Newsom issuing an executive order instructing state agencies to urgently remove homeless encampments. It comes after last month's Supreme Court decision allowing cities to enforce bans on sleeping in public places. NBC Bay Area's Valina Jones shows us how both the city of Oakland and homeless advocates are responding to the governor's call for action.
We have now no excuse with the Supreme Court decision. This executive order is about pushing that paradigm further and getting the sense of urgency that's required of local government to do their job.
In a social media post today, Governor Newsom is calling for local agencies to clear areas deemed dangerous, filled with tents, RVs, and homemade shelters, while using billions of dollars in state funding he says is already available to provide services. Oakland's mayor says she's on board.
It really allows for us to have a process in place. I want to be very clear. Ahead of even getting this executive order from Governor Newsom, when I came into office, we broke down Northern California's largest encampment, which is right here on Wood Street.
More than 200 affordable housing units are set to open soon in the former encampment spot. Just yesterday, the city cleared out the Toll Plaza Beach encampment. The governor's order applies to state-owned property and leaves local governments to make their own decisions. Mayor Tao says the city is prioritizing addressing encampments that pose safety risk for the public and environment.
We're going to continue to offer compassion and offer housing and shelter to people on the streets. However, if you do not take the shelter that we offer, we have no choice but to remove you. And so ultimately, of course, that's not what we want to do.
But homeless advocates argue clearing encampments like Caltrans did with this one under 880 this week is cruel because they say the state and city still lack adequate resources and affordable housing.
And sweeps using police and bulldozers are never compassionate and never increase a human dignity. So what we need to do is we need to funnel those resources into housing and into permanent solutions.
Husbands Hankin explains even when services are offered, it's often not enough.
They are offering shelter that is inadequate and inaccessible to most people. So it's really important to understand that people are being labeled service resistant when in fact the services that are being provided are inaccessible to them for many reasons.
In Oakland, Valina Jones, NBC Bay Area News.
Well, yeah, I can see the two sides of that coin. You can't put the cart before the horse. If Newsom has signed his bill based upon the Supreme Court decision, that you can enforce, arresting the homeless like that. You got to have a place for them to go. And again, excuse me, if they do say, well, we have a place for them to go, but it's 5 miles away, well, how are they supposed to get there? And, or, who knows what the situation is. But obviously, it doesn't sound like it was a well thought out plan when Newsom decided, to push the button on some of these various locations to, get the job done. Apparently, the one city had, some options available for these people. But then again, depending on how Newsom distributes money to the cities, and if they don't go along playing the game, getting rid of the homeless encampments, then they're going to get some funding cut to their city. So I can understand, they kind of have you by the short hairs when you're a mayor, a police chief, or a safety coordinator for a city. Yeah, interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Again, I'd like to know, what do you think about the homeless, and how do we take care of the homeless situation in the United States? Anyhow, I think that, hey, we are about, a couple days into the Olympics now. When did that start? Sunday, Monday? The Olympics started, and the opening ceremony was just unbelievable. They had if you didn't get to see the opening ceremonies, they had the standard parade where the teams are walking in, blah blah, so on. But then they had a float in the parade that was a depiction of the Last Supper, but it was performed by a LBGT group who I think may have taken it a little bit to the extreme. But let's listen to what our favorite villain from He-Man, Skeletor, has to say about it.
This rendition of the Last Supper made me lose my supper. This guy brought the nuts. Look at dude's facial expression. It's the same one as everyone around the world. Does that guy have his nuts out? If this is the Last Supper, where's the food? Oh. Sponsored by Ozempic. Who's that? Kanye West? It's made Lady Gaga look normal. Whose idea was it to put the kid next to the guy with his nuts out? Look, it's he-him man. That's a lot of fruit on that plate. Papa Smurf better watch his back. At least they moved the kid away from the nut bowl and suddenly rooting for the Muslim immigrant takeover. Until we meet again. But it won't be in France.
Yeah, isn't that's horrible that they did that. I mean, what the thought line was, what the idea was, whatever their presentation was, it didn't work at all. And the people that were the organizers of that particular parade should just bury their head in the sand and just forget about ever doing something like that again, that you let some crap like that slide by. Or you could go get a job for the Secret Service. In any regard, hey, let's move on. And last week, I believe it was, there was a little blip on the news about Russia and China having these joint exercises. And everybody got uptight because they were like really super close to the Alaskan border. In fact, I don't know, but close enough that the U.S. sent up some squad fighters and to give them an escort away from Alaska. Check it out.
A prominent Russian propagandist has become the latest pro-Putin figurehead to express a desire for Alaska to be under Russian control again, raising fears that the country could make a land grab for the US state. Presenter of Russia One program 60 Minutes and Putin mouthpiece Olga Skabayeva referred to the US state as our Alaska during a broadcast. Newsweek says that Alaska once belonged to Russia. In 1867, it was sold to the US after then-President Andrew Johnson signed the Alaska Treaty. It gained the status of a state on January 3rd, 1959. Alaska and Russia are positioned about 53 miles apart at their closest point. Skabayeva made the remarks after fellow pundit Adalby Shkagoshev, a deputy of Russia's parliament, the State Duma, commented on a joint patrol staged by Russia and China last week that came within 200 miles of the Alaskan coast. Russian Tu-95Ms and Chinese H-6K strategic bombers, alongside escorting Russian Su-30SM and Su-35S jets, operated together over the North Pacific Ocean and the Bering Sea. It marked the first time the two countries had been intercepted while operating together. Our aircraft approached the borders of Alaska, Shkagoshev said of the joint patrol before he was interrupted by Skabayeva, who incorrectly said that the State Duma deputy had said, our Alaska. She added, right now the head of the Pentagon is hiccuping nervously somewhere. You said our Alaska. And he just said that if Russian and Chinese planes penetrate the territory that the US considers its own, the US is ready to enter the war.
Okay, then. Yeah. So there's a kind of propaganda, or maybe it's not propaganda. Maybe it's the truth that they're telling on Russian television. So, yeah, there was that joint exercise, and I was wrong. They came in within 500 miles of the Alaska coast, and then they were kindly escorted away from Alaska. Interesting. Yeah, why would you refer to it as their Alaska? So, and I didn't know it was Andrew Johnson that acquired the Alaska territory, the Alaska Treaty, rather. Should have paid a little bit more attention in history class to that one. But in any regards, hey, what's going on in Ukraine with Russia? We have the exercises going on, but China's still taking a look at Taiwan. You got North Korea, South Korea still at each other's throat. So, hey, besides being a little bit unstable here in the United States, we're a little bit unstable all around the world. Just make sure you keep your eye out on things so you know what the heck is going on, especially that Russian-China situation. What are we, 500 miles away from each other, so that ain't much. That ain't much. Let's move on to a part that I do like to share with everybody, and that is what I call, dude, you got to be kidding me. What the fuck? Hey, in any regard, you wouldn't believe this. I heard this one on the news, and I said, this cannot be. Who is actually that stupid? Well, somebody's that stupid. A couple of employees working at a guitar center, obviously, where you're trading musical instruments back and forth. You can go purchase your new music instrument, or you can sell them your old equipment. But anyhow, they came across something real interesting in a shipment just the other day.
Employees at a Gwinnett County business are being credited with helping police seize thousands of dollars of drugs hidden inside of a guitar amplifier. That's right. Channel 2 Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Matt Johnson's live near Lawrenceville. Matt, police say the drug dealers shipped it all through the mail.
And police say those drugs were never supposed to show up to this location here on Pleasant Hill Road. But when those drugs did, the employees made a discovery that police say is part of a larger problem. The thousands of dollars worth of drugs found stashed in a guitar amplifier definitely caught the attention of the Guitar Center employees who discovered them.
In this case, we have employees that did the exactly right thing.
Police say the cocaine and the meth that they found stuffed inside of the equipment was never meant to show up at the business.
It's extremely rare that this happens at any business.
In this case, Gwinnett County Police say they showed up to the Pleasant Hill Road location July 17th because Guitar Center employees opened a suspicious box and found everything. They told police the box had a shipping address out of state, but the location was listed as a return address, so it was returned to them. Investigators believe the drug dealers who tried to ship the drugs have done this before.
They'll attach business logos or business return addresses on the box.
Most of the time, police say a specialized unit seizes the drugs before they're ever delivered. These are pictures from 2.5 kilograms of fentanyl found in the mail this year. Last year, the parcel interdiction team seized 4,500 pounds of drugs.
That equaled about $70 million that had been sent through FedEx or UPS that officers were able to seize with the help of a canine that they walked through each of these businesses.
Dude. Yeah, that was kind of a slick little deal, yeah, but they used that as a return address. I was wondering what the end game was, is how they planned on retrieving other drugs shoved inside the guitar amplifier, unless they were planning on going to the store and buying a used amplifier. But they're going to check it out anyhow. They're not going to just put some amp out there that they haven't plugged in and made sure it was, graded. They grade all their equipment at Guitar Center, so you know if it's in good condition, fair condition, very good, excellent, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I don't know what their thought was, but obviously they weren't thinking too much, kind of like this next guy that I figured that I would put on for your viewing pleasure on Dude, What the Fuck? What would you think if some statues were stolen from you 10 years ago and then you find somebody trying to sell them on eBay?
Stolen statues worth tens of thousands of dollars returned to the city of Cerritos after almost 10 years.
10 years. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live tonight after getting a closer look at these statues. And Matthew, they've got quite a story to tell.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. City officials had really given up on getting these statues back, but now we're seeing them for the first time in a long time. An exclusive look at the prized statues now back in the city of Cerritos. The bronze sculptures stolen more than 9 years ago. Did you ever think you were going to get them back?
No, I did not think. I thought they were melted. It took all this time. We actually gave up.
The statues, named Fireflies and Sunshowers, each weigh roughly 200 pounds.
These sculptures are valued at like $35,000 and $20,000 each.
These pictures taken before the handmade artwork was snatched by thieves on South Street back in 2015.
We didn't think we'd ever see them come back to Cerritos.
It's very rare that something that is this old will turn up like this.
Just this year, Fox 11 has reported on several thefts involving high-value metals.
Oh, it's just a ransack.
Bronze headstones stolen from grave sites at Lincoln Memorial Park Cemetery.
My heart is broken.
The plaque on Bruce's Beach, gone. Even light poles ripped away by thieves using chains in Pasadena.
It is something that's very common, construction sites, things like that, where people go in and take the copper.
These statues finally tracked down after investigators say someone tried selling them back to the original artist. Authorities taking this picture in Linwood, finding the artwork surprisingly still intact. Statues with a surprising survival story they only wish they could tell.
Almost, I put that into Dude, What the Fuck? That could almost go into our asshole award for, how can you be that stupid, especially if you stole something like that? $6,000, $7,000 a piece, well, that's grand theft, and you're going to be good. You're going to be doing some jail time, even if you try to claim you didn't sell it. It's still going to be receiving stolen property. You're still going to be getting some time for it, you dummy. Anyhow, hey, I did, though, honestly save a real good one for you when it comes to our asshole of the week. And I'm sure you've seen this on the news, too, because this one's been going for a while. That is the park fire in California. It was started by a guy who decided that he was just going to trash out his mom's car, set it on fire, trash it out, push it down a hill, and boys, he caused some serious problems.
Tonight, as fast-moving flames ravage parts of Northern California, firefighters are urged to stay aggressive. More than 4,800 of them are now battling the state's 6th largest wildfire ever recorded. crews are scrambling to put out hot spots. But an abundance of grass, timber, and dry brush is fueling the fire at a feverish pace.
It's been primed to go over the last number of years. Obviously, with the temperatures and the winds, everything's just kind of aligned perfectly for this fire to be burning 4,000 to 5,000 acres an hour.
The man accused of starting the blaze, 42-year-old Ronnie Stout, appeared in court today for his arraignment. Prosecutors say he pushed a burning car into an embankment. One witness told us what she saw.
Some flames kind of lick at the passenger side. And then in that moment, we're like, oh my God, and it spread fast.
In Kern County, about 130 miles north of Los Angeles, another wildfire exploded, destroying most of a historic mining town over the weekend. Meanwhile, in Canada, we're getting an up-close look at the devastation caused by a wildfire that struck the popular tourist destination of Jasper and its national park. 358 buildings were burned, a third of the entire town. And smoke from the wildfires, both in Canada and here in the western United States, has now drifted as far as the East Coast. And we're here on a ridgeline where you can get a sense of just how massive this firefight is. Tonight, crews are scattered across a burn zone larger than Los Angeles. NORA officials say it could take weeks to extinguish this fire.
What an idiot. I mean, that guy deserves an asshole award. Intentionally starting a fire like that and then doing it with your mama's car or whatever problem you guys had going on. I don't know, but damn. Yeah. So, dude, you get what you deserve. You ruined so many lives. You've destroyed how much of people's property, their homes, their life, if they're ever going to be able to recover from something like that, along with what you've done to nature in itself. Yeah, you deserve what you get. Anyhow, hey, it is time for me to get on out of here. I want to wrap this show, and again, I want to say thank you so much for dropping by and spending another hump day with me on Tim's Tidbits. I certainly appreciate it. Let me give a quick shout out to last week's listeners in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Mexico, Germany, Australia, France, Ireland, Africa, and Poland. Hey, thank you folks from all around the world tuning in and checking this out. I sincerely appreciate it. And if you want to catch up on some past shows, you can go to YouTube. And while you're in YouTube, in the search engine, simply drop in The Queen Silver Show. You'll get a result of all three of the shows that I'm involved with. The Queen Silver Show, the Now You Know Show, and the show Tim's Tidbits. Go ahead and get caught up with them on the Queen Silver Show network there on YouTube. And while you're there, would you please subscribe? Thank you very much. And until next week, hey, let me give you a little bit of a musical interlude, so to speak. And we will get out of here. Please enjoy your week. Have a great time. And listen to Donald and Tucker Carlson say, they are against everything.
It's your boy, Big Tucker. Back again with another one. I support the current causes. I have empathy and manners. I got pronouns in my bio. Pray for countries in my banner. Can't wait to get my 7th shot. It's written in my planner. I don't use emojis. They appropriate those to work tanner. Wait a minute. You didn't post a Black square for Black Lives Matter? If you don't wear a mask, that makes you an anti-masker. If you don't get the vax, that makes you an anti-vaxxer. If you don't watch Full House, that makes you anti-Danny Tanner. You don't listen to Nelly? You're anti-country grammar. You're Home Depot-ophobic. Why are you so anti-hammer? Maybe you're anti-ladder, anti-former, anti-ladder. Are you anti-Aaron Rodgers? Or more like anti-Packer. You're a dude but won't wear makeup, but why are you so anti-glamour? You don't think green lives matter? Why are you anti-Bruce Banner? You don't like the Rolling Stones? Wow, you're anti-Mick Jagger. If you're offended by Rhymes, it makes you anti-rapper.
Call me racist, call me bigot, call me homophobe. All because I know the difference in your chromosomes. We living in the clown world, got the only hope. When these politicians puppets like Pinocchio. I'm so anti-everything. I'm so anti-everything. I'm so anti-everything. I'm so anti-everything.
literally shaking right now. That is my slogan. Ivermectin is a horse drug for people like Joe Rogan. Fidel Castro was my hero, not the Nazi Ben Shapiro. We should all just go inside until the carbon net is zero. I'm anti-sound of freedom, anti-cop until I need them. Use minorities for virtue signaling, that's how I treat them. I'm so anti-Tesla, bro. I'm anti-gas and coal.
Wait, but don't those two contradict each other?
Well, yeah, I know. I'm so anti-chromosome. Also anti-Alex Jones. Trump was in the movie, so now I am anti-Home Alone. Voted Biden because he said that he'd forgive my student loans. I think kids should be allowed to cut off their boobs and their joes. I'm so anti-two genders. I'm anti-Bruce Jenner.
Oh, wait, she's transgender.
Goes against our agenda. A trans-exclusionary radical feminist, which is a term we just made up but doesn't really exist.
Call me racist, call me bigot, call me homophobe. All because I know the difference in your chromosomes. We living in a clown world, got the only hope. When these politicians puppets like Pinocchio. I'm so anti-everything. I'm so anti-everything. I'm so anti-everything. I'm so anti-everything.